PNP and anti-cybercrime group cybercrime procedures. First is the control the area. When the PNP and anti-cybercrime group arrive at the cybercrime incident, first they secure the crime scene by putting a barricade tape, or the police line do not cross. They doing this to preserve the crime scene, and to notify public that the investigation is ongoing on that particular area. Second is the moving individuals away from the scene. In these procedures, the investigator should move those individuals away from crime scene to protect the evidence for possible corruptions or altering. Third is the gathering information from those individuals present at the crime scene. In these procedures, wherein the investigator should interview those suspects and also those possible witnesses. Fourth is the investigation process on the device. The investigator will start to investigate the computer devices in a careful way. Even though the investigator is knowledgeable enough in computer, they will need to be careful. If the computer system is off, the investigator should avoid turning on. They always make sure first if there's no other connected server in that computer devices to avoid corruptions of evidence. Fifth is the obtaining volatile data. In this procedure, the investigator should obtain all the informations which are in the volatile data, or the memory of the computer system, and also the shutting down the devices. If the evidence is already obtained, the investigator should disconnect all the server and shut it down, the computer device. Also, we have the documenting the crime scene. After the investigation process, the investigator should photograph the crime scene. This will serve as their guide in remembering the whole situations of the crime scene. Next, the sketching the crime scene. The investigator should sketch the crime scene. Every locations of the evidence, and also the entire crime scene. Next, the labeling and tagging all the evidence in a crime scene. All the evidence they obtained is need to have labeled and tagged, because the investigator should present it in the court of law. Next is the placing evidence in a safe folder. After labeling and tagging the evidence, the investigator should place the evidence in a safe container or a folder, and then cover it with a tape. This is to make sure that all evidence they obtained is safe and transferring in forensic lab. Next, the packaging all the evidence. In package, the investigator should package all the equipment they use and also all the evidence they obtained, such as the motherboard, connectors, and other materials they use. And lastly is the filled out the evidence custody form. The recovering officer should filled out the evidence custody form. before transferring the evidence to the primary investigating officer.